So the story of Christmas actually begins long after the events it celebrates. For the first few centuries after Jesus' life, his followers, they didn't actually celebrate his birth. The early Christian church was way more focused on his death and resurrection. Easter, was the most important holiday on their calendar. The birth of Jesus was certainly important, but it wasn't marked with any special festival or feast day at all. Early church writers seemed more interested in theological debates and establishing the core beliefs of the new faith. They really spent their time writing about the nature of Christ, not planning a birthday party for him. It took nearly 300 years before the idea of a Christmas celebration really took hold. The Bible itself doesn't give a specific date for Jesus' birth. The Gospels of Matthew and Luke, they tell the story of the Nativity, but they don't mention a month or a day. This lack of a specific date meant there was no obvious time to celebrate. Early Christians were also pretty wary of celebrating birthdays. In the Roman world, birthdays were often celebrated for emperors and gods. Christians wanted to be different from the surrounding pagan culture. They saw birthday celebrations as a worldly custom they should avoid. Things began to change in the 4th century. The Roman Empire, which had once persecuted Christians, started to embrace the faith. With Emperor Constantine's conversion, Christianity became more accepted and, mainstream. Church leaders now had the freedom and resources to develop a more structured liturgical calendar. They wanted to create a full cycle of festivals that would tell the story of Jesus' life throughout the year. Creating a celebration for his birth, known as the Nativity, became a new priority. It was a way to honor Jesus as both human and divine, which is a central point of Christian belief. The first recorded celebration of Christmas on December 25th happened in Rome in the year 336. This was a pretty significant moment. It marked the official start of Christmas as a recognized Christian holy day. From Rome, the practice slowly spread to other parts of the Christian world. The Eastern churches in places like Egypt and modern-day Turkey had been celebrating the Epiphany on January 6th. This day remembered Jesus' baptism. For a time, some Eastern churches celebrated his birth on that day too. Eventually, though, the December 25th date from the West was adopted almost everywhere, creating a unified time for Christians to celebrate their Savior's birth. So, why was December 25th chosen for Christmas? Since the Bible didn't provide a date, the church had to pick one. There are two main theories about how this date was selected. One idea is called the history of religions theory. This theory suggests that the church chose December 25th for a strategic reason. It was already a very popular day for a major pagan festival in the Roman Empire. This festival was called Sol Invictus, which means the unconquered sun. It celebrated the winter solstice, the shortest day of the year, as the birthday of the sun god, who began to grow stronger again. By placing Christmas on this day, the church could offer a Christian alternative to a popular pagan holiday. It was a way to compete with the old religions and attract new followers. People were already used to celebrating at this time of year with feasts, lights, and gatherings. The church could redirect that festive energy toward Jesus, who Christians called the light of the world. This made the transition from paganism to Christianity easier for many people. It was, honestly, a clever way to blend the old with the new, making the Christian message more appealing to the masses in the Roman Empire. The second main theory is called the calculation theory. This idea suggests the date was chosen based on an old Jewish belief. This belief held that great prophets often died on the same date as their conception. Early Christian scholars tried to figure out the date of Jesus' death. They decided it was March 25th. If Jesus died on March 25th, then, according to this belief, He must have also been conceived on March 25th. If you count forward 9 months from March 25th, the normal length of a pregnancy, you arrive at December 25th. This made it the logical date for his birth. Both of these theories, honestly, have good evidence to support them. It's possible that both are partly true. The church leaders might have used the calculation method to come up with December 25th. They might have also been very happy that this date happened to fall on the same day as the Sol Invictus festival. It was a perfect coincidence that served their goals. Whether it was by strategy or by calculation, December 25th became firmly fixed. It connected the birth of Jesus to the ancient and powerful symbol of the sun and the return of light in the darkest time of winter, giving the date a deep and enduring meaning. As Christmas spread across Europe, it absorbed, well, a lot of local customs. This was not an accident at all. When Christian missionaries traveled to new lands, they often found it was easier to adapt local traditions than to forbid them completely. Pope Gregory the Great, in the year 601, famously advised a missionary in England not to destroy pagan temples. Instead, he said, they should be converted into churches. The same idea was applied to festivals. Old pagan winter festivals were so popular that it was almost impossible to stop them. So, the church gave them new Christian meanings. One of the most important pagan influences came from the Germanic peoples of Northern Europe. They celebrated a midwinter festival called Yule. Yule lasted for several days around the winter solstice. During this dark and cold time of year, people would light huge bonfires to symbolize the return of the sun's warmth and light. They would also bring an entire large log, called a Yule log, into their homes to burn. This log was meant to burn for the entire festival, bringing good luck and protection from evil spirits for the coming year. These traditions of light and fire were easily connected to Jesus, the light of the world. Another set of traditions came from the Roman festival of Saturnalia. Saturnalia was a week-long celebration in mid-December that honored Saturn, the god of agriculture. It was a time of great joy and social reversal. Normal rules were suspended, businesses and schools closed. Slaves were often treated as equals and served by their masters. People decorated their homes with greenery, like holly and ivy. They exchanged gifts and spent their days feasting, drinking, and playing games. Many of these customs, such as feasting, gift-giving, and decorating with greens, found a new home in the celebration of Christmas. This blending of traditions happened all over. In Scandinavia, the Yule festival also involved beliefs about the god Odin. He was said to fly through the sky on his 8-legged horse during the winter, rewarding good people and punishing the bad. This story has echoes in the later figure of Santa Claus. By allowing these old customs to continue with a new Christian focus, the church helped make Christmas a deeply personal and beloved holiday. It became a festival that felt both new and ancient at the same time, rooted in the specific cultures of the people who celebrated it, while honoring a universal Christian message. The Christmas tree is, honestly, one of the most famous symbols of the holiday, but it's actually a relatively modern addition. The tradition of using evergreen trees and wreaths to symbolize eternal life was common among ancient Egyptians, Chinese, and Hebrews. In Europe, pagan cultures used evergreen branches in their winter festivals to ward off evil spirits and celebrate the promise of life's return in the spring. During the cold, dark winter, the evergreen was a powerful reminder that nature was not dead, but merely sleeping. It represented hope and endurance in the face of hardship. The Christmas tree, as we know it today, most likely began in Germany in the 16th century. Devout German Christians brought decorated trees into their homes. Some stories even credit the Protestant reformer Martin Luther with being the first to add lighted candles to a tree. The story goes that one winter evening, he was walking home and was moved by the sight of stars twinkling among the evergreen trees. To recreate the scene for his family, he put a tree in his house and wired its branches with lit candles. These early trees were sometimes called paradise trees and were decorated with apples to represent the forbidden fruit from the story of Adam and Eve. The tradition remained mostly a German custom for a long time. Other European countries were slow to adopt it. To some, it seemed like a strange and foreign practice. The custom was brought to America by German immigrants in the 1800s, but it did not become popular right away. Many Americans still viewed it with suspicion, as a holdover from pagan traditions. It took a very influential family to change people's minds and make the Christmas tree a fashionable item for every household. The big change came in 1848. The popular London newspaper, the Illustrated London News, published a drawing of the British royal family. The drawing showed Queen Victoria, her German husband Prince Albert, and their children gathered around a decorated Christmas tree at Windsor Castle. Queen Victoria was a major trendsetter, and what the royals did, society followed. Soon, every fashionable home in Britain and America had to have a Christmas tree. The image was published in American magazines, and the Christmas tree quickly became a beloved tradition across the Atlantic, cementing its place as the centerpiece of the modern Christmas celebration. Gift-giving has long been a part of winter festivals, from the Roman Saturnalia to the Germanic Yule. For Christians, the tradition was connected to the story of the Magi. These wise men brought gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh to the infant Jesus. However, the cheerful, gift-bringing figure we know as Santa Claus has a more specific origin. His story begins with a real person named Nicholas, a Christian bishop who lived in the 4th century in a place called Myra, which is in modern-day Turkey. Nicholas was known for his incredible kindness and generosity, especially toward children and the poor. Many legends grew up around St. Nicholas. The most famous story tells of how he secretly helped a poor man who had 3 daughters. The man could not afford a dowry for them, which meant they could not get married and might have to be sold into slavery. To save them, Nicholas went to their house at night and threw 3 bags of gold through an open window. One version of the story says the gold landed in stockings that were hanging by the fireplace to dry. This act of secret, anonymous gift-giving became his trademark. After his death, he became one of the most popular saints in Europe, and his feast day, December 6th, was a day for giving gifts. Over the centuries, the legend of St. Nicholas changed as it moved through different cultures. In the Netherlands, he was known as Sinterklaas. He was still a tall, dignified bishop who rode a white horse and had a helper, often called Black Peter, who would carry a book with the names of good and bad children. Dutch colonists brought the Sinterklaas tradition with them to America in the 17th century when they founded New Amsterdam, which later became New York City. In this new land, the story of Sinterklaas began to mix with other English and German traditions. The modern American Santa Claus was born in the 19th century. In 1823, a poem called A Visit from St. Nicholas was published. We know it today as "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." This poem transformed the tall, thin bishop into a jolly old elf with a round belly and a sleigh pulled by 8 tiny reindeer. Later, in the 1880s, a cartoonist named Thomas Nast drew a series of popular illustrations for Harper's Weekly magazine. Nast's drawings gave Santa his red suit with white fur trim, a workshop at the North Pole, and a list of naughty and nice children. This image of Santa Claus became the standard one we know and love today. Music has always been a part of the Christmas celebration, but the carols we sing today have a long and varied history. The very first Christmas hymns were written in Latin in the 4th and 5th centuries. These were serious theological songs that were sung as part of church services. They were not the kind of joyful tunes that people would sing in their homes or on the street. The word carol originally meant a circle dance accompanied by singing. These folk songs were popular for centuries, but the church often disapproved of them because of their connection to pagan dance celebrations. During the Middle Ages, a new kind of Christmas music began to appear. Saint Francis of Assisi is often credited with helping to popularize carols in the 13th century. He wanted to make the story of Christmas more accessible and emotional for ordinary people. He created nativity scenes, or creches, and encouraged the singing of simple, joyful songs in the common language of the people, not in Latin. This helped to bring Christmas music out of the church and into the community. Traveling singers called minstrels would wander from town to town, sharing these new carols and spreading the festive spirit. The Protestant Reformation in the 16th century had a big impact on Christmas music. Some reformers, like the Puritans, disliked Christmas celebrations altogether, including the singing of carols. They saw it as too worldly and not serious enough. In England and America, for a time, celebrating Christmas was discouraged or even outlawed, and the tradition of caroling faded away. However, in other parts of Europe, especially in Germany, reformers like Martin Luther encouraged music. Luther himself wrote carols, believing that singing was a wonderful way for people to express their faith. Many beloved carols, like Away in a Manger, have roots in this period. The golden age of Christmas carols came in the 19th century. This was a time of renewed interest in the holiday, especially in Victorian England. Many old carols were rediscovered and published in songbooks for the first time. Composers also wrote many new songs that quickly became classics. Silent Night was written in Austria in 1818. O Holy Night was composed in France in 1847. We Three Kings was written in America in 1857. The tradition of carolers going from house to house also became very popular during this time, creating the festive musical atmosphere that we still associate with Christmas today. The way Christmas was celebrated evolved differently in Europe and America. In medieval Europe, Christmas was a major public festival. It was a 12-day event that began on Christmas Day and ended on Epiphany. It was a time for the community to come together for feasting, drinking, and games. The social order was often turned upside down, with lords serving their peasants. It was a loud and rowdy affair, more like a carnival than the family-centered holiday we know now. This boisterous style of celebration continued for centuries, though it was often criticized by church leaders for being too wild. When the Protestant Reformation swept through Europe in the 16th and 17th centuries, attitudes toward Christmas began to change dramatically. Many Protestant groups, especially the Puritans in England, viewed the holiday with deep suspicion. They disliked its roots in pagan traditions and its connection to the Catholic Church. They also hated the wild, drunken behavior that often accompanied the celebrations. In 1647, the Puritan-led English Parliament actually banned the celebration of Christmas. For over a decade, celebrating Christmas was illegal in England. These Puritan attitudes traveled across the Atlantic to the American colonies. In New England, the Puritans who settled there also banned Christmas. From 1659 to 1681, it was illegal to celebrate Christmas in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. Anyone caught feasting or taking the day off from work could be fined. In other parts of America, however, celebrations continued. German and Dutch immigrants brought their own traditions, like the Christmas tree and Sinterklaas. In the southern colonies, the English Anglican settlers celebrated Christmas with parties, hunts, and festive meals, much like they had in England before the Puritans. Christmas in America was reborn in the 19th century. A number of influential writers helped to reshape the holiday into a peaceful, family-centered event. Washington Irving wrote popular stories about a warm, old-fashioned English Christmas. In 1843, Charles Dickens published A Christmas Carol. This incredibly successful story promoted Christmas as a time for family, charity, and goodwill. Its message of kindness and redemption had a huge impact. These stories helped transform Christmas from a rowdy public festival or a banned holiday into the cherished family occasion that it is in both Europe and America today. As Christmas grew into a beloved family holiday in the 19th century, it also became a major opportunity for businesses. The tradition of gift-giving, once a small part of the celebration, began to expand. Early Christmas gifts were often simple, homemade items or fruits and nuts. But as factories began to produce more goods, stores realized they could sell a lot of products during the holiday season. The new department stores that opened in the mid-1800s began to create special Christmas displays to attract customers. They decorated their windows with festive scenes and advertised their goods as perfect Christmas presents. Advertising played a huge role in shaping the modern Christmas. By the early 20th century, magazines and newspapers were filled with Christmas ads. Companies created emotional connections between their products and the spirit of the holiday. They suggested that buying the right gift was the best way to show love and affection for your family. The character of Santa Claus became a powerful marketing tool. Many different companies used his image to sell everything from toys to soft drinks. One of the most famous examples is the Coca-Cola Company, which began using Santa in its ads in the 1930s. Their artist, Haddon Sundblom, created warm, friendly images of Santa that helped solidify his modern look. The commercialization of Christmas created new traditions. The idea of a long Christmas shopping season was one of them. Retailers wanted to extend the period when people were buying gifts. This led to the promotion of events like Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, as the official start of the holiday shopping rush. Christmas music began to be played in stores earlier and earlier to get shoppers in a festive, spending mood. The pressure to buy the perfect gift, and lots of them, became a central part of the holiday experience for many people, sometimes overshadowing the holiday's other meanings. This commercial focus has led to a lot of debate. Many people worry that the true meaning of Christmas, whether religious or focused on family, has been lost in a sea of consumerism. They feel that the holiday has become too much about spending money and not enough about faith, charity, or time with loved ones. Every year, there are calls to put the Christ back in Christmas or to simplify the holiday and focus on experiences rather than possessions. This tension between the spiritual and commercial aspects of the holiday is a defining feature of the modern Christmas celebration. Today, on December 4th, 2025, the signs of Christmas are all around us. The holiday has become a global phenomenon, celebrated in countless different ways by billions of people. For devout Christians, it remains a deeply religious holy day. It is a time to attend church services, reflect on the birth of Jesus Christ, and celebrate the message of hope and salvation that his coming represents. The nativity scenes, Advent wreaths, and sacred carols are all part of a rich spiritual tradition that connects them to the very first Christians who chose to honor this day nearly 2 millennia ago. At the same time, Christmas has evolved into a major cultural holiday that is celebrated by many people who are not Christian. For them, the season is about family, community, and goodwill. It is a time for gathering with loved ones, sharing meals, and creating lasting memories. Traditions like decorating the tree, exchanging gifts with friends, and watching classic holiday movies have taken on a life of their own, separate from their religious origins. The spirit of Christmas, for many, is a spirit of generosity, kindness, and nostalgia for the magic of childhood, a feeling that transcends religious belief. The commercial aspect of Christmas is also more powerful than ever. The holiday season is the most important time of year for the retail industry. The pressure to shop, spend, and participate in the consumer culture of Christmas is immense. This creates a complex and sometimes stressful experience for many. People navigate the tension between the desire for a meaningful, peaceful holiday and the demands of a commercialized world. The modern Christmas is a blend of all these things: a sacred event, a secular celebration, and a massive economic engine. Ultimately, Christmas today is not one single thing. It is a complex tapestry woven from threads of ancient pagan rituals, Christian faith, folk traditions, and modern commerce. Each person and each family creates their own version of the holiday, picking and choosing from a vast menu of traditions. Whether it is celebrated with a midnight mass, a visit to Santa at the mall, or a quiet evening at home with family, Christmas continues to be a powerful and cherished time of year. It is a day that has been unwrapped and rewrapped through the centuries, yet it still holds a special magic for people all over the world.